Hello there everyone, my name is Oversoul, this is Oversoul Gaming, and welcome back to Danganronpa. We're about to have our very first class trial, finally. Yeah, it only took like, 7 or 8 episodes? Woohoo! If that's any indication of how long this shit's gonna be, we have 5 trials in this game in total, just so you know. However, do not worry, because the more people die, the less time it'll take to get there, because there'll be less talking. Except for the talking I'm doing now. But anyways, normally you can set skills here, but I don't have any. That requires getting to know people, and I don't like talking to people. Oh wait, yes I do. Here's one. I got one from Sayaka. Increase damage to the opponent when a statement is destroyed. Effective during the bullet time battles. Yeah, but we're not gonna equip that because there's like a trophy for getting through one of these without ever using that shit. But anyways, so, you're about to learn what the class trial is and what it consists of. Let's get it going. I may have to read some of this in the beginning, but for the
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial.
Nope, okay.
So, your votes will determine the results.
So the good thing about these class trials is that the class trials are completely and fully voice acted, so I won't have to do my terrible voices for this part. You guys can enjoy the actual voice acting for a change. And actual gameplay, mini-games and stuff, you'll see what I mean. Alright, here we go.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
And the killer really is one of us, right?
Of course!
Okay then, everyone close your eyes, and whoever did it, raise your hand!
Like that's gonna work.
Don't be a goddamn idiot. Why the hell would they raise their hand?
Before we move on and start the trial, can I ask a question real quick? What's going on with those pictures?
I'd feel awful if they got left out just because they died. Friendship penetrates even death's barrier. Friendship penetrates?
Get your head out of your pants, you gross fuck.
Okay, but what about that other empty seat? There were only 15 of us to begin with, so why are there 16 seats?
That's a pretty solid fucking question, actually. And that's gonna be important later, so hold on to that.
Oh, no reason. It's just that our little courtroom here can technically fit up to 16 people.
Yeah, sure, that's the reason.
Okay, that about does it for the preamble. Get ready to get started. First up is the case summary. Now, let the class trial begin!
It's about to begin. The debate to decide who we think the killer is. Anything I found, anything I noticed, I have to be ready to speak up about everything. Because this isn't just about me. Everyone's lives are on the line. Alright, I don't need a tutorial, because I'm smart. Ba 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 danga dang danga danga dong dingo boom 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 boom. But I will explain it for you.
I assume...
Okay, so during these non-stop debates, what happens here is all of the characters start arguing with each other, Parliament style. You know, there's a debate going on. You've been equipped with a truth bullet, or several truth bullets, depending on the case. And these truth bullets, they are basically the clues that you collected during the investigation. And when you find a hole in somebody's argument, usually it'll be highlighted, you know, the things that you can shoot truth bullets at are highlighted. When you find the proper hole in someone's argument, you can shoot through it with your truth bullet, basically. You can, oh god, what's the word I'm looking for? You can challenge their statement, I guess, I want to say, with facts, basically. Dispute, that's the word I was looking for. Dispute, debunk. Basically, you can take their assumptions and their ignorance and debunk and dispute them with facts, which is one of the reasons I love this game so much, honestly. You know, because shutting down stupid people with facts is really fun.
That the one who was murdered was Miss Sayaka Maizono!
Yeah, we know that part already. and the murder took place in Makoto's room.
In the bathroom. So it seems most likely that the killer must have taken her by surprise while she was in the bathroom. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
Oh, I missed. I hit the wrong button. I forgot which button it was. Don't worry, we can fast forward.
And the murder took
In the bathroom. So it seemed the killer must have taken her by. She didn't even have a chance to resist.
No, that's wrong!
No, that's wrong! Objection! Very Ace Attorney. I love it.
Just a second, Chihiro. Try to remember how my room looked. With the way things had been damaged, I think we can definitely assume there was a struggle.
A struggle? Between who and who?
Between Sayaka and the killer, of course.
This game has an amazing soundtrack.
So you're saying Sayaka wasn't caught by surprise in the bathroom?
She must have been attacked in the main room first. Then, she ran to the bathroom to try and hide. The killer followed her in, and that's where they finished the job.
That much should have been obvious after taking one look at the scene. It shouldn't even need explaining.
Sorry.
Okay, so what's next?
Next is the subject of the murder weapon.
Wow, this is starting to sound like a real trial.
Because it is, you fool! Yeah, do you not realize that if you get this wrong, you will die? We need to determine what was used to kill Sayaka. Alright, here we go. Another bullet time argument. Why am I only getting one bullet each? I thought I had this set to medium.
So what was used to kill her?
There was some kind of sharp object thrust into her stomach. Without a doubt, that is the murder weapon!
Let me check something real quick. Am I? Oh, never mind.
So the killer used some random knife they had on him.
No!
No, that's wrong!
There was a kitchen knife missing.
No. I do think it was a knife, but not just any knife. I'm almost positive it was a kitchen knife.
Right. So the kitchen knife that was missing was the murder weapon. But if you remember correctly, Asahina said that the only person she saw go into the kitchen that night was Sayaka herself.
Huh? A kitchen knife?
After the murder, we discovered that one of the knives from the kitchen was missing.
Which means that knife must be the murder weapon.
Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense. You could sort of see the weapon sticking out of her stomach.
Sort of? Sort of! It was very blatantly obvious.
And if you look real close, I could totally see that being a kitchen knife.
Yeah, if you squint really hard, it almost kinda looks like a knife. Jesus Christ.
Okay, so the murder weapon was a kitchen knife, but where does that get us? I mean, we all know Makoto killed her, right?
No!
That's right. Makoto's room was the scene of the crime. What more proof do you need?
Well, the proof is that we play as Makoto and we never saw that shit happen, so...
Hold on a second.
Look, you're all gonna die if you pick him.
Let's draw our conclusions after we presented our arguments. Otherwise, what's the point of the trial?
I don't know, we could maybe just look at the fact that she literally wrote the killer's name in blood on the wall behind her and skip all this shit.
Well, we can talk all we want. It's not going to change that conclusion.
I don't think that's true at all. I'm sure if we keep at it, something new will reveal itself.
You already know who it is, so why don't you just fucking say it? She's intentionally stretching this out.
You really believe that?
She knows who it is. She knows because she read the blood on the back of the wall and the name and all that, and she was like, oh, okay, you know. It wasn't that hard to figure out. She's right, there's gotta be a breakthrough somewhere just waiting for us to find it. Because I know damn well I'm not the killer. Not at all. Still only getting one bullet. Did I put this on easy and not realize it? I meant to put it on medium.
So I guess there's no question that the kitchen knife was the murder weapon.
Oh yeah, I also got 5 hearts. Sick.
Makoto must have taken it from the kitchen, right? He did it in secret. when nobody was in the dining hall. And then he went and
fuck, I
stabbed
missed.
Sayako.
So we really did. We've reached the end. So I guess there's no question, but where does that...
Makoto must have did it in secret.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah, don't you fucking tell me what I didn't do.
Okay, wait. Hold on. I didn't take the knife from the kitchen.
Next, you're gonna say you're not the killer, right? Go ahead and say it all you want.
Well, what if I have a witness? What do you think, Hina?
Huh?
Remember what you were telling me earlier?
Well, I went to go get some tea from the kitchen last night, and all the knives were still there. But when I finished my tea and went back into the kitchen to wash my glass, one of the knives was gone. So you're saying the knife disappeared while you were drinking your tea in the dining hall? Yeah.
Just to be perfectly clear, the knife disappeared while you were in the dining hall, correct?
I still have to read flashbacks because they weren't voiced in the first place.
Yeah, that's right.
And at any point while you were there, did you ever see me come into the dining hall?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, he definitely wasn't there.
The knife disappeared while Hina was in the dining hall, but I wasn't there the entire time. In other words, there's no way I could have taken the knife.
Yeah, but now you're gonna make her look guilty.
Okay, then what about this? What if the idiot swimmer girl and Makoto are in on it together, and lying to protect each other?
Oh, Jesus, now you're just playing mental gymnastics.
Idiot swimmer girl!
Try looking at the facts, stop assuming shit.
Oh, and more importantly, why would I get involved in something like that?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
No.
So you ask, and so I shall answer. Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
So the accomplice would have to be willing to be a sacrifice.
So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Then there's no way anyone would work together, right?
Well...
But what if they did work together, and they just didn't know about the rule?
Good grief! Enough already! No, okay? There are no accomplices in this case!
Thank you. Well, let's move on.
Oops! Did I say that out loud?
He just wants to get to the part where someone dies. That's his whole thing.
Anyway, I didn't go to the dining hall, and I didn't take the knife. So I'm not the killer.
Okay, so then, who did take the knife?
Hina seems the obvious candidate. After all, she just said she was in the dining hall.
No way! I swear it wasn't me!
Sure, but can you or anyone else prove that? I can.
That's right! Sakura was with me the entire time I was drinking my tea.
I hate to have to ask, but just to be sure, Sakura's...
Me.
Right.
But then, couldn't either one of them have grabbed the knife?
Actually, no. Because, well...
We were too busy doing it.
Just spit it out already.
I stayed in Hina's room last night.
I got so scared thanks to those creepy videos. I wasn't really thinking, I just asked her to stay over.
Look, I can't make this joke because I would be stealing it, but I have to share it with you. When I watch Game Grumps play this, they made a joke right here about these two doing each other in the alibi. It was very clever.
Which means we have airtight alibis.
Yeah.
You stayed over? Doesn't that violate one of the school regulations?
We're not allowed to sleep anywhere but the dorms, but it doesn't say we have to stay in our assigned room. So, I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah, and if you're gonna do anything funky, just remember there's a camera and Monokuma's watching.
It is a problem! A boy and a girl spending the night together? It's It's unwholesome!
Sakura's a girl.
But I'm a girl.
You are? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry!
I like how he's like the boy and girl together are unwholesome, and that's not what you're used to hearing from people, you know, narrow-minded people. But he's not saying it from narrow-mindedness. He's saying it because he's a very pristine and proper gentleman. You know, he's you know, the idea of sex to him is probably inappropriate. You know.
But if it wasn't either of you, then what other possibility is there?
Actually, there is one other possibility. Right, Hina?
Oh, yeah, that's true! One other person did come to the dining hall while we were there.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Well, because they're not here anymore.
Someone who's not here? Are you talking about...
Sayaka. She's the one who came to the dining hall. And then later, she wound up dead.
Okay, but think about it like this, right? She said she was looking for something for self-defense, so clearly she went and she got a knife for self-defense, but it backfired on her because whoever came to attack her, she used the knife to defend herself, but they turned the tables on her and used her self-defense weapon as a murder weapon on her. So Sayaka... Okay, so the person who took the knife from the kitchen... We literally just fucking said it. Why are you making me do this?
I got it!
Oh boy! Big brain!
Sayaka is the one who took the knife?
That's the only possibility. And thinking back on it, she was acting kind of unusual. When she came into the dining hall, she didn't even look at us. She just went straight to the kitchen. As she left, she said she just wanted a drink of water. But most likely...
And the person who took the knife was the victim herself!
I'm sure she just took it for self-defense.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So you're saying the knife she took was then taken from her, and she was killed with it? In that case, you may not have taken the knife, but you still could have killed her.
What?
See? He did do it after all!
No, you're wrong!
So, that's how you would twist the argument and send us all off in the wrong direction? You possess a most terrifying talent.
I'm angry at you, but I'm not looking at you directly. Damn, if I don't do something, they're gonna blame me for the murder. Don't they understand? If they convict me, everyone's gonna die.
Hold on. It's still too early to decide conclusively that Makoto is the killer, wouldn't you say? Because you see, if the room did belong to the killer, then they did something most bewildering. And until we unravel that little mystery, you simply can't declare that he's the killer.
Bewildering? What the hell are you talking about?
Something was missing from the scene of the crime that by all rights should have been there. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
I'm not psychic like Sayaka was. Alright, we're about to do another minigame called the Hangman's Gambit. This one is pretty simple and self-explanatory. A bunch of letters are going to fly across the screen, and we have to shoot the letters that fill in the blank to what we think the thing is. So there was something missing from the crime scene that should have been there. A 4-letter word that starts with H. Oh wow, we really are playing this on easy, aren't we? Hair.
Now I understand!
Okay, I'm gonna have to change that. I didn't realize it was on easy.
That's right! There wasn't a single hair on the floor!
It's not very exciting on easy. It's more fun to watch on medium or higher.
So, the culprit removed some evidence?
Yes, and if I were the culprit, why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room? It wouldn't be unusual at all to find my hair at the crime scene if the crime scene is in my room.
The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace that Sayaka had ever been there. That makes sense, does it not?
No. If that were the case, they would have had to do something about the body itself, not just her hair.
Right.
Yes, very true, very true.
Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground?
The killer got rid of it all, of course, to remove any trace that they had ever been there.
Wait, then that means...
Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Then Makoto isn't the culprit?
Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
Yes.
No. There are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it.
I would like to hear these reasons.
Wink, wink.
Do you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene? Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom, right?
Yeah, then they ran after her, got into the bathroom, and stabbed her.
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it?
What do you mean?
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom.
Indeed, indeed.
There was clear evidence left behind. Do you remember, Makoto?
The doorknob.
I got it! Evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right?
Huh? The doorknob? What doorknob?
The one on the fucking door, you idiot.
The doorknob for my bathroom. It was completely broken. See how the top part was unscrewed? And the doorknob's about ready to fall off?
Oh yeah, true. But what does it mean?
It means they broke the doorknob to get in because they couldn't get in otherwise. Not because it was locked, but because Makoto's door is wonky.
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing the entire doorknob.
But they didn't know that, did they? Whoever it was that killed her. Meaning that it couldn't have been Makoto because he knows how to open his own goddamn bathroom door.
This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner. It proves Makoto is beyond suspicion.
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his own room?
Yes!
But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
You still don't see? Okay then. Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. Hopefully that will help you understand.
Alright. No more non-stop debate bullshit. Or tutorials. No tutorials. I don't need them because I've played this. Alright.
The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room. She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door. Because Sayaka had locked it.
Wrong!
No, that's wrong!
Can't lock it, it's a boy's bathroom door.
The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with locking bathrooms, right?
Ding ding ding.
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
Huh? What are you talking about?
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup, true as true can be. But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door...
You know, to be honest, I would actually argue the fact that he has that cruddy door is what makes him lucky. Because it basically alleviates him of all suspicion.
That's not lucky at all!
Yeah, on the contrary, it saves his life.
So the reason
Here.
the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
You know how sometimes protagonists, especially in anime, can kind of like accidentally their way into things, or it seems like they have plot armor and an insane amount of luck? Well, in this story, they made it so that was Makoto's actual talent, being the super lucky student. He just legitimately gets super lucky all the goddamn time.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place?
Even when he's unlucky, he gets super lucky during the unlucky part.
Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
The killer was convinced the bathroom door was locked. So they didn't know that the door actually couldn't be locked. In other words, the important detail about the scene of the crime they didn't know was that it took place in my room.
I got it! The killer must not have realized that it was my room.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable!
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Do you remember how their nameplates were switched on the doors outside? Did you forget that tidbit? Because that's actually important.
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms.
It's not important to who the killer is, but it is important to how this all played out.
Which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then
there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through!
Right. Now, and here's the other thing, too. We all already know who the killer is because their name was written in blood on the wall, but the thing is, how that came to be, and there's more to the story that you probably won't see coming, you know? Every last one of these trials has some kind of twist, some kind of rug pull, some kind of shock moment, you know? I swear, this game has more twists than an M. Night Shyamalan movie. You know, it's just insane.
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
Ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. But the killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door open.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is
definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
That is a definite possibility.
He seems disappointed.
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
Okay, then who did do it?
I'm sorry, but I give up! Quit without saving!
But what happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules!
Majority rules? You really think that's a good idea?
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something. For serious.
For reals, yo.
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they may seem.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question.
Oh, you...
Ouch.
You don't gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine. Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay, so, well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Well, you see...
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
No.
I don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Miss Maizono just let him in.
No, that can't be it either.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place. Hello? Why exactly can't that be it?
Well, because she was scared and she was like, you know, yada yada and all that. But she could have been lying. Anyways, though, boom.
I got it! Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
The same goes for you, Sayaka. No matter who it is, don't open your door for anyone. I'm sure it's you. I absolutely won't open it. Otherwise, what's the point of even switching?
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What if her being scared was a lie?
Huh? Well, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
Okay, so, Kirigiri here found a piece of evidence that we didn't find, a note. It says, "There's something I want to talk to you about, just us two, in 5 minutes. Come see me in my room. Check the nameplates to make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?"
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil. And these are the words that appeared.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows. When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes. Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
Huh?
Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Yep.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
There you go.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, I didn't. But...
Of course you didn't. Because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
Then that note, Sayaka wrote it?
But why? Why would she write that?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
Oh, shut
But can
up.
we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Don't be so sure.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say? Very well then. Pay attention.
Oh, here we go. Time for another non-stop debate. Ba 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 da ba da ba da 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 ding da dum bam bum 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 ba dum ba dum bum ba dum.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in.
No, it's wrong.
I mean, it's not technically wrong, but the nameplates were switched.
The
Intentionally.
nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got switched?
That's right. The nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no
Look
problem.
at Mondo. Why is he so angry? Oh, I gotta
And
take
the
a
one who
shit!
switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Right? Okay, then who did it?
There's only one person who could have switched the nameplates. Sayaka.
I got it! Me and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
You can also infer as much from her note.
There's some... Yeah, we already read that. We don't need to read it again.
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
Exactly.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
It's almost like this whole thing was her idea in the first place.
Inviting someone to your room,
and it just
but
backfired.
Not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
To understand that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room.
There was clearly a struggle.
That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her. We figured it out! We know who did it! Whoever she invited over is the culprit!
Yes, but
we still
you're
don't
missing
know
a
who
part.
it is, you goddamn idiot!
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes? Perhaps the answer to our previous question lies in that initial struggle.
Yes, I think you're right.
Then... we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
It was.
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
Because of the gold paint. It's easy.
I got it! All you have to do is take a good look at her broken wrist, and it should become pretty clear. Right there where her wrist is all swollen. There's something glittery there. See?
Vampire semen.
Is that gold?
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
I got it! Because she got hit with the sword! Right there on her wrist!
Yup.
I see. And so the truth draws ever closer.
Alright, then it's about time to solve this mystery.
It is. This is actually the shortest trial in the whole game because it's the first one and basically a tutorial. But the other trials will definitely not be this short. We're not done yet, but we're getting there. Oh, here we go. Now we're getting free bullets. Okay, maybe we are playing on medium. We just weren't there yet.
When the fighting broke out, the culprit grabbed the sword, and that's when the first blow was dealt. A sword-based sneak attack.
No.
No, it's wrong.
The sheath was covered in knife cuts and knife cuts and knife cuts. It means that the sword was used as a defense
Actually,
against
no.
the knife.
I don't think the fight started with the sword.
Thank you.
Why not?
Because the sword sheath had been scratched.
And I don't see any cats around here.
There's a gash in it. Like someone cut into it with something sharp.
Something sharp? You mean like the kitchen knife? That was the only sharp thing found at the scene.
Sayaka had the knife.
Stop jumping
Sayaka
ahead.
had the knife.
Slow down and explain it so I get what the hell's going on.
She invited someone
If the sword was used
into
first,
her room.
there wouldn't be any explanation for the scratch on the sheath. If you
Are
were
we getting
going to
it?
attack with the sword, you'd take it out of the sheath first, right?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
true. With the sheath on, it'd be heavy and bulky and useless as shit.
Okay.
Okay, so how did the sheath get damaged?
If they got
Knife.
attacked with the kitchen knife, maybe they grabbed the sword as a defensive impulse.
Ding, 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 you know. Ding,
In that
ding, ding, she
situation,
knows.
there wouldn't be any time to actually unsheath the sword.
She always knows. She's the smartest character in the whole
So
game.
you're saying the sword was initially used to defend against an attack from the knife?
Yes! Yes, now we're getting somewhere.
Whoever had the kitchen knife was the one who attacked
That's right.
first.
Sayaka lured someone into the room
So here's how it all played out.
so she could kill them. But it
Culprit came
backfired.
in, found the kitchen knife hidden there somewhere.
No.
Then they took the knife and attacked Sayaka before she knew what was happening.
No, you idiot. Pay attention. That's not at all what was being...
So she grabbed the sword to defend herself. But then the culprit took that from her too.
You're overthinking it.
Then, after they broke her wrist with the sword, they took the knife and finished it.
Sorry, but I don't think Sayaka used the sword to defend herself.
Other way around.
What? How the hell can you not think that?
The killer used the sword to defend
Because
themselves.
she never held the sword at all. There's a certain part of her body that makes this clear.
The palm of her hands, they would have gold on them if she used it. That's right, the part of her body never used the sword. The sword. Her palms. Her palms didn't have
You're
no
talking
gold
about
on
her palms, right? The palms of her hands were perfectly clean, so I don't think she ever picked up the sword.
I love this soundtrack, man.
How can you know that just by looking at her palms?
Like I said before, the gold coating on that sword comes right off. All you have to do is touch it. In fact, if you look, you'll notice that a lot of the gold has already come off the handle. It's safe to assume that's because whoever used the sword got some of it on their hands. There's really no way she could have picked it up and come away completely clean.
Maybe she washed her hands after she escaped into the bathroom.
Sorry, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
You say that? Is it because you think I'm ugly?
What false dichotomies?
No, that's not it at all.
The water is off at night, that's why. Which is really stupid, because what if you gotta get up and take a piss? But, anyways, the water was off.
I got it! According to the Monokuma file, Sayaka's time of death was around 1:30 a.m. In other words, at nighttime. And the water in the bathroom shuts off at nighttime, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Actually, I haven't taken a shower here yet.
Oh my.
You're no different. You smell like a big fat ugly donkey.
Ouch.
I'm not sure whether to take that as an insult or a compliment.
Okay, that's
Insult, obviously.
That dude's not
So
right.
anyway, if Sayaka never touched the sword, then that means the killer is the only one who used the sword. But hold on. If that's right, then the one who damaged the sheath with the kitchen knife was...
Sayaka herself.
I got it! Sayaka? She had the kitchen knife?
But
Come on,
we
Makoto,
already
keep
said
up.
that the attack started with...
The person with the knife attacked first, and the sword was used as an impromptu defense.
Then the one who attacked first was...
That's right.
Sayaka?
That's
Now do you
right.
understand? She wasn't a blameless victim in this.
She started this shit.
No, far from it. It's almost as if she'd been planning to commit a murder of her own.
It's like what she saw in that video drove her over the edge.
Took the knife from the kitchen, then invited the culprit to the room she was staying in. And if
There we
it's
go.
true that she had the kitchen knife and attacked without provocation,
Indeed. These are all the actions of an assailant.
This is the
Which
twist in
brings
this
up
trial.
another point. Makoto, Sayaka was the one who suggested you two switch rooms, correct?
It's not important to who the
Maybe
killer is,
the reason
but
she wanted to switch rooms
they just wanted to
was so that
surprise
she
you.
could pin the crime on you. That is a possibility, is it not?
That too.
Sayaka wanted to... on me?
That's right. After
That
all
would
those
also
niceties
explain
and
why
flirting,
she would switch the nameplates.
she was gonna
wanted to
kill
get whoever
someone.
she had targeted to come to Makoto's room where she was staying.
She was gonna kill someone and frame him.
And by committing the murder there, instead of her room, that would implicate Makoto.
I bet you don't feel bad
But
for her now,
that to
huh?
work, the target had to be lured out while still keeping the room swap a secret.
This game
If
shows
the
you...
target knew she had switched rooms, they would have become suspicious right away.
This game shows you that when pushed to the limit, anyone can become an
that's
asshole.
why she switched the names?
But doesn't that plan seem a little risky? For one thing, even if her plan worked, Mr. Naegi would just tell everyone they'd switched rooms.
I don't know. I'm not sure our soft-hearted Makoto is capable of that kind of cutthroat behavior. I'm sure Sayaka realized the same thing, which is why out of all of us, she asked him to switch rooms.
Good point.
Plus, she was the ultimate pop sensation. A totally forgettable kid. Or a national superstar. Who are you more likely to believe?
Wait, then you're saying she had this all planned out?
Holy
Makoto! Poor
But in
Makoto,
the
he's so
end,
hurt.
Her plan backfired. She launched her attack with the knife, then found herself under attack in turn.
That's some dark
That
betrayal.
must be when her wrist got broken, and she was forced to drop the knife.
The tables were suddenly turned on her, and she died at the hands of the one she'd planned to murder.
Just hold on! That can't be true! Because...
Makoto, it has to be
Hey!
true.
You guys have totally derailed the argument. You're being super boring right now. Come on, hurry up and decide who did it.
I agree with
Wouldn't it be
Monokuma.
awful if I had to punish you all just because you ran out of time.
Oh yeah, we gotta decide who we think did it.
Makoto, right now you just need to concentrate on figuring out the answer to this mystery. If we can't uncover who murdered Sayaka, it's over for all of us.
Right. Is it really all over? Obviously, I'm committed to finding out who killed her, but what can I do? I mean, as far as clues go, there's nothing left. Oh, but except for maybe the name on the wall written in blood. Jesus Christ. They go through so many hoops just to get to the very obvious answer.
It's easy just to say, hey, decide who did it. But there just aren't any more clues, right?
Bullshit.
No, that's wrong!
I like how Makoto's like, man, there aren't any
There
more
still
clues.
might be one clue left.
Oh, wait, there is
Sayaka's
one.
dying message.
Yeah.
Dining, wait, what did you say?
The dying message. She wrote something on the wall behind her, remember? 11037.
Those aren't
Written in
numbers.
her own blood.
Flip it upside
There
down.
must be a clue about the killer hidden in there.
Well, before we get too far into that, I need to ask, can we really be sure that Sayaka is the one who wrote it?
Yes, because she had blood on her index finger.
I got it! Her left index finger had blood on it. That could only be because she used that finger to write the message.
I see. She broke her right wrist during the fight, so she'd have to use her left hand to write.
I promise you, not all the trials are this easy
Sure.
to figure out.
I think we can all agree Sayaka wrote it.
Some of them are like super complicated.
What the heck do those numbers mean?
This one's intentionally easy.
11037?
Hey, Chihiro. You're a computer nerd or whatever, right? You should know all about numbers and shit.
They're not numbers, they're letters. Flip it upside
No,
down.
that's not... Yes, I'm a programmer, but I don't see any kind of meaning in these numbers.
Of course. It's because they're not numbers.
Thank you. Once again,
Oh,
smartest person in the
Yeah,
room.
it looks like...
What? What?
No, it's just... look at the numbers, assuming they're not numbers. Don't these first two, 1-1, look less like two numbers and more like one letter?
You can literally see
Right.
the faded
The
line.
connecting line
Yep.
is barely there.
Yep.
So I assumed it was 1-1, but
Yep.
looking at
Yep.
it now, you could also read it as an N.
Oopsie doopsie.
You might have finally just said something worth a shit.
Ouch.
Our little gray cells are really getting excited now.
But even if that really is an N037, doesn't make any more sense than before.
They're not numbers! They're all letters.
Rotate the image 180 degrees.
There you go.
Oh my god. Now I see. She wrote down the killer's name.
Huh? You just shot past the clue part and right onto who did it.
So, whose name did she write?
Are you all really that stupid? Okay, I guess I'll have to be the one to tell you. If you turn the message 180 degrees, you know, okay, so, the thing is, this game originally came out on the PS Vita, so since it was a handheld, you really were able to turn it 180 degrees, so you actually could look at that upside down. I've taken the liberty of putting it upside down for you in editing, but we all know who it is.
She wrote that message on the wall behind her as she was leaning up against it.
You mean the burnt shirt piece I found laying on the ground by the incinerator, right?
You can't reach the incinerator without opening the gate in front of the trash room, right?
A target 30 feet away would surely be little challenge for the ultimate baseball star.
Listen to me! What the hell do you mean, end this?
Let's give it everything we've got!